Today, other interesting political news, you have Chuck Schumer calling Biden's impeachment a witch hunt. The ultimate hypocrisy. You can't make this up. Perhaps we do live in a simulation. Good old Chuck Schumer. The same politicians who said, "Oh yeah, we won't be a sanctuary city," like Mr. Eric Adams of New York. "Oh yeah, we won't be a sanctuary city. Send them all here." And then when they had resource allocation issues because so many people went there, now he's calling for the border to be closed. Of course, no one's calling him racist, of course, because he's on the Democrat side of the political aisle. So they're above critique in many news outlets. Just as I was about to say, Republicans are above critique, perhaps only on Fox News, but let's be honest, how many people watch them? 32 people left? Maybe? Well, wait. 31 people will watch Fox News. I'm sad to say Gwen is gone. Or a funny name for an old person, I forget. Ruth, unfortunately. Baby Ruth is gone. But I digress. So we'll hear Chuck actually from lines, or what's another word? What's a jackal? From the jackal's mouth. Perhaps that's the most appropriate term.
I think the impeachment inquiry is absurd. The American people want us to do something that will make their lives better.
But then why are you sending all the money to Ukraine? Well, when was the last time you actually focused on people's lives?
Not go off on these chases and witch hunts. The bottom line is, as we have said, you can only accomplish keeping the government open in a bipartisan way.
This is also the first time you'll hear them in months saying that word bipartisan.
I have sympathy with Speaker McCarthy. He's in a difficult position. But sometimes you got to tell these people who are way off the deep end, who have no interest in helping the American people, who just want to pursue their own witch hunts, that they can't go forward with it. So I'm disappointed. I think it's absurd. But we are not going to let it stop us here in the Senate from keeping the government open and working in a bipartisan way.
Wow. Hypocrisy is quite unpalatable, of course, but all too accurate.
Introducing.
Oh, good old pop-ups. Now, if you actually look at the statistics of the video, it was interesting. So on this news outlet, again, I apologize, I actually forgot to give them a shout out. So this particular YouTube channel is by the name, it's good old The Washington Post. An interesting, perhaps it's just their audience of what they want to see in terms of content. Someone who has 2.19 million subscribers, the Washington Post, they got a mere 4,500 views, which to me would be great. I greatly appreciate, we get those types of views here. That'd be awesome. But the Washington Post, perhaps it's because the people who follow that company, they just want to critique one side of the aisle. But I partially digress. They got 4,800 likes on YouTube, or rather views. They got 48 likes. And of course, they hide the down vote because YouTube likes to be morally abhorrent as well as murky, the opposite of transparent. That comes in a ratio of 1.06%. Not good, to say the least. Now, interestingly enough, the top comments, you have somebody by the name of DM Cortez saying, quote, "As the great Nancy Pelosi once said, the president will have the opportunity to prove his innocence," unquote. Burn. That comes in at 16 likes. So pretty good. You have somebody by the name of Eck, EAC, 8498. That is a very, very inspirational name. Now, in all seriousness, this individual, their response comment was, quote, "Wasn't absurd when they spent 4 years going after Trump," unquote. Precisely right. And that person got 64 likes. Although I would argue there's actually evidence in this case of multiple wrongdoings. Will they be held accountable? I'm pessimistic, but time shall tell. You also have somebody by the name of Ernesto D saying, quote, "Joe thinks impeachment is a jar of jelly," unquote. Pretty good. They got 44 likes. Now, somebody by the name of Paul Byron 1359 says, quote, "The reasons for the impeachment in this case are completely valid," unquote. And they got 35 likes. So interestingly enough, a video published by a very partisan news outlet got a consensus of most of the comments actually agreeing that the impeachment search is valid. Now, in terms of will there be any teeth to this bite? the Republicans are currently trying to have. Well, that's the issue. They didn't take a vote to actually do this, which they previously critiqued the Democrats for doing the same thing. But in this case, let's say they do find all the evidence, or more appropriately, they find more evidence to bring to light. Are enough Republicans going to vote in the House to actually get something done? And even if they do, will the Senate vote to do something? Probably not, because it's become a very partisan issue. Even if they see clear wrongdoings of a crime, Democrats aren't going to vote for an impeachment. They are very strategic on the chessboard. Their pieces all move as a monolith. Some might call that, because some might say, you know, similar to brainless drones or orcs in Lord of the Rings. Or is it Star Trek? I'm partially a kid, but they do not deviate from the group. Republicans, there are a lot of rhinos, also known as pejoratively as Republican in name only. They switch sides all the time. So in this case, I don't think anything will actually come from it. Even though many people will say the evidence is right there, I don't think they have the votes. And they certainly don't have the votes in the Senate, because the Democrats are not going to flip, no matter what. Let me know in the comments, do you think they have the votes, not just in the House, but do they actually have the votes to impeach in the Senate? Would anyone flip? That's I'd be fascinated to see. But of course, as I always say, time shall tell. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, I know it's ambitious trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of September, so if you can click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, the comments help the channel grow and develop. All the critique is greatly appreciated, as I try to do everything from enunciate more, slowing down my voice, and still searching for better software so we can do the picture-in-picture with the video. I tried another one, but I don't know if it's because of my newer 4K camera. It keeps crashing. So if you have suggestions, I would greatly appreciate them. And of course, don't forget to take the time to like the video, because that helps with the algorithm and gives me feedback on if I need to maybe do something a little bit better. And also, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.